What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Welcome to the war room. We got Dez, Kim, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the hot block commander. How you wanna end a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level? Bold with the topic, sorta like some rebels when it's game time. Bad 5 during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What's good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. You know that. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my brothers, Jimmy the Blueprint and B. Austin. It was a great fight this past weekend, and the controversial decision assures us that we'll see it for a second time at least. We'll discuss that, week 2 in the NFL, some NBA topics, and more. So keep it locked right here. Make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 3 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Real quick before we get started, during the week when we're not live on the air, be sure to check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Besides our own podcast, The War Room, you can also listen to shows such as The Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris, The Tissue and the Tape Hip-Hop Show with Phil Maddock and Savad, John Appetit with The Burtons, if you like to eat, On the Couch with The Wilsons, Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue, By the Hood with Jimmy the Blueprint and Corey Camp, Race Haven Radio with Dr. Scott Speed, and a whole lot more. Just visit warroomsports.com. Click on the WRS Podcast Network tab or go to our free mobile app on Android or iOS and click the network tab there. What's going on, bros? How's the week going so far?
Yo, Albert Hainsworth, you a witch. And we'll talk about it later, but I had to get that out early.
Had to get that off.
Yo, man. I'm excited, man. You know, anticipating basketball season, a great boxing match. Like, you know what I'm saying? Salute to my man, Rummy. Rummy,
man,
the
shout out to
boxing ball.
Rummy, man. Rummy,
shout out to my man, Rummy from YouTube. I don't even know who young Rummy is. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to find you, beloved. I'm going to find you, Rummy, and give you your props, man, because, you know, for you to put that kind of effort into something on YouTube, man, is muchly appreciated. We've been talking about it for half of the week. So, you know what I mean? My week been spending, like, you know, debating Rummy topics and boxing, man.
Was Rummy the bull that was fighting Hitler?
Yo. I don't know.
Yo. Yeah, you went somewhere. You went somewhere else with that. You went somewhere else with me. Yeah, I have no idea what you're referring to, man. Me and Dev talking about our group chat activities, man. Salute to everybody in our group chat. But yeah, Rummy got me back in my boxing mode, man. And you know, as soon as I hear that, then one of the current cats just leaves the sport.
I know. Damn, we gotta talk about that too. Pound for pound.
I know.
King
Hurt me.
Saying holla. All right, but yo, some salty news for me, man. Some childhood nostalgia. I mean, I'm not saying that it's over, but the boy Jeffrey the Giraffe, man, and Toys R Us, they done filed for bankruptcy. Man. Remember, Jim, we talked about it earlier in the week, and they were saying maybe within weeks they might end up filing for bankruptcy. Yo, like less than 5 hours after our conversation, they filed for bankruptcy, man. Toys R Us could possibly be going away. I mean, they kind of trash now anyway, but still, it's nostalgia, man.
I don't know how y'all felt, but when I was on the way to Toys R Us, like, I can't think of any other feelings that was like that feeling of knowing that you were going to Toys R Us. And then top that off, like maybe you got some Popeyes or some KFC. No, Kentucky Fried Chicken, not KFC. before you headed there. Oh man, it was nothing like that on a
you know
Friday
what it was for me back
after
then? It
school.
was a trip to Toys R Us and real talk, a trip to Pizza Hut. Like not a delivery when you were sitting in Pizza Hut to eat a grub. And like now I won't even touch a Pizza Hut pizza. But back then when they bring it out on the little black pan and with the little scooper joints, Pizza Hut was that deal. They had the little the salad bar and all that. But yeah, now Toys R Us, like, I mean, I do all my shopping on Amazon, and that's probably a big reason that Toys R Us is going out of business in the first place. But secondly, like, you can get down a little better going to the toy section in Target these days than Toys R Us. But shout out to Toys R Us. If there's something out there that y'all can do to save it, go ahead and do that. But
Yo, man, they should have did something like put some like amusement park or rides in, invested into their e-commerce, so you can just pick up stuff at the store, make it a pickup site. There's a lot of things they could have done, but they were so late to the party.
They had the amusement park joint on Times Square, but everybody not built like Times Square. Shoot, that might be closed too. I think I heard that was closed, that Toys R Us on Times Square. You can't make it on Times Square, you trash. So, Jeffrey, I don't know if you out for good, my man Jeff. But it was a good ride, man. B. Austin hit it. He hit the nail right on the head, man. There was not a better feeling in the world than going to Toys R Us. Shout out to Kitty City, though. A lot of people don't know about that. Shout out to Kitty City.
No.
Kitty City, man. They had toys.
No.
It wasn't Toys R Us.
You just disrespected what we was trying to accomplish here, man, by bringing that trash nugget up.
Yo, that joint was like
Kitty City was better than KB.
KB Toy Store.
Yo, KB was woo.
KB was crowded because it was like little storefronts in the mall, and they tried to squeeze like a
Yo,
million.
KB Toy Store was like 300 square feet.
Yeah, it was easy. I heard that from a friend. It was easy to boost from KB because the store was so crowded. All right, man.
Yo, man. Yeah, man. But yo, my thing real quick. Last thing I say about this is, yo, the theme song though, B, that can't die, yo. Like, they had the most lit theme song.
I don't want to grow up.
I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Step in there, brother. You supposed to go ahead with that.
What's messing with that, man?
I thought Jim had the soundbite or something. I was waiting. Like, he got
no. I was going to y'all spitting bars.
Oh,
that would have been young. No, I ain't got that, dog.
All right, so let's jump into some hot topics because people probably listening like, what the hell are they talking about toys for? Because we own the company. Hot topics brought to you by Sports the Book. Are you guys tired of reading the same old sports books with the same old tired sports lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and all sorts of subjective information that people are trying to pass off to you as facts? Well, be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. This mixture of sports and hip-hop culture will keep you on the edge of your seat and laughing like you're watching an Eddie Murphy special. Shout out to the God. Just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com, but wherever you do it, just make sure that you don't miss that movement. All right, so let's get into the boxing match. We talked about it at the Open. It was a great boxing match that just happened this past weekend. It's the fight, when these two quote-unquote big fights were named. This is the one that I was actually waiting for. The first one was more of a, circus attraction. You watch because you were curious. This one, you kind of knew it was going to be a very good fight, and I don't think it disappointed in the least. Now, the decision was controversial because many people felt that Triple G to appoint Canelo and win the fight. My opinion might be a slightly different than the majority of people's opinion, but the big story was the one judge, the woman who had Canelo up on her scorecards, 118, 110. I don't think there's anybody in the world that agreed with that one unless it was like Canelo's uncle, cousin, wife, son, whoever. But what did you guys think, man? Jimmy, I know you were into this one as well. What did you think about the decision? What did you think about the fight, and then what did you think about the decision?
Well, first off, I thought it was it was a great fight to me. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the fight. You know, first off, I want to commend both dudes because they were giving it their all. There was no quit. You know what I mean? You know, we all body language experts. I didn't see any quit out there.
There was no Jay Cutler.
There was no mas.
Yo, and I'm just like, yo, Triple G's chin is like, it's like Danny Rand's fist. Like, what you gonna do with that, man? My man got his chi up, and you can't hit him. Like, he was walking through some bombs, yo. So Jimmy, to me, I was thoroughly entertained.
The whole fight, I was just imagining how discouraged Canelo had to feel because Canelo hits normal boxers with some of the shots he hit Triple G with. Those dudes are going night-night, like real talk. And like you said, he was hitting them with some nice, clean shots. And you do that, and this dude is still walking forward. He's still stalking you.
Like, that has to be encouraged, he wasn't even flinching.
That's some
He hit him with CTE specials.
He definitely did.
Yo, it was one, I think it was like in the 7th, 8th round. He hit the bull with the Ryu uppercut. And the bull didn't even flinch. Like, he didn't even flinch. He just kept walking straight with a straight face. That's scary, cuz.
I will break you.
Yeah, he got the he got the quagmire.
Listen, man. Listen, I remember one time as a young boy, we was in the neighborhood, and my older cousin was rumbling this dude. And I may have told the story on the show before, but it's relevant now, so I'm telling it again. So he's rumbling this dude.
Plus you're on the cover.
And, he's rumbling this ball, and he hit the ball. The ball fell. He takes the ball's head and like slams it on the part of the sidewalk that like.
He tried
the
to.
Ball, like,
American history.
But listen though, so the ball automatically started leaking ketchup. But then the ball stand up and keep coming at him, and then my cousin took off running. Now, mind you, he was winning his rumble, and it's like, you know, in the hood, we all gathered around. It's before World Star. We like, yo, we like, why he break like that? He just broke off running. So, you know, you see him later. He was like, yo, when you hit the ball like that and he keep coming, what I'm supposed to do?
Yo, you slam somebody's head on the sidewalk and he don't die.
What I'm supposed to do about that?
Out. This fight is
so
over.
my point in saying that is that's kind of reminded me of that. It reminded me of a personal story. I was like, yo, what is he supposed to do? I'll be so frustrated because it's like, what can I do at this point? Like, you're hitting him with all kinds of bombs and boys coming forward. Now, I thought the fight was entertaining. It kind of got overshadowed by the decision. My personal opinion on the decision is this. I think it was a very close fight. I personally edged Triple G, but I'm not mad if you pick Canelo. Maybe I'm a little bit mad. But at the same time, it's just a score of 118 to 110 that's utterly ridiculous. Even if she would have had it 115, 113, I wouldn't have agreed, but I would have been like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to say that anybody in that bout won 10 out of 12 rounds, which is with 118 and 110 equals, that means somebody won 10 out of 12 rounds. That's like, it's crazy. I don't even know how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, I don't consider myself a boxing expert. I love combat sports. I watch MMA. I watch boxing, but I don't consider myself an expert. I'm not going to lie, because I like all these cats that pop up.
Not rummy with it.
Yeah, I'm not rummy, so I don't pop. You just like cats pop up big fights and they want to act like they're experts. I'm not that guy. But I do enjoy boxing. And my point is, I don't know anybody who enjoys the sport who could agree with that score. Even if you think Canelo won, which some people did, and I'm not even arguing that because some people I thought Canelo won. I'm like, I'm fine with that. But don't tell me he won 10 rounds, though.
And I'm in the same boat with you. A lot of people I talk to were just acting like Triple G just straight up got robbed, regardless of the woman's score on her scorecard. And I didn't look at it that way either. I thought the fight was closer than a lot of people thought it was, mainly because not that Canelo did a lot of damage in the beginning of the fight, but Triple G took so long to kind of get going. You have to give those rounds to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So even if he's just outpointing you with some stuff that's just activity, you know what I'm saying? He won maybe the first 3, maybe 4 rounds of the fight. Triple G, I think, took over in the middle rounds, and then Canelo, probably knowing that it was desperation time, he went out like a G. And like you said earlier, Jim, man, shout out to these dudes. You know why? Because they fought, and these weren't just some poop butt lightweight dudes where you can just beat each other's face in all night and you be cool. Like, these two guys are known to be some of the best punchers in the sport, and they still went out there and got it in. I mean, it's for our entertainment. They're gonna have CTE before they die, but they gave us our money's worth that night if you paid money. But yeah, I thought it was really close. If I was pressed and if I were a judge, I would have given the fight to Triple G. But just like you said, Jim, I'm not mad at a draw because I don't think it was just like a dominant performance by anybody. Plus, I'm all for the rematch. I'm not all for anybody getting screwed to make a rematch, but I don't think this was like one of the more controversial decisions that we've ever seen outside of that ridiculous scorecard of 118 to 110. So everybody's calling for Adelaide Bird to be suspended.
It's just that a draw is so like, a draw is such a cop-out, but I get it. But it's like, I hate a draw, man. Salute Donovan McNabb, man, because there shouldn't be no draws in any sport, man. We shouldn't have draws, man. Because when you invest that time and energy into any sport and you get a draw, that's like such a that letdown might be worse than a loss, B. Like, I'd rather lose than draw. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like a draw is like it's like getting ready for a night of passion with a beautiful young lady and she smells like a turtle tank. That's the equivalent of.
I think that might be a loss, homie. Oh,
that's a draw.
Or maybe.
I'm gonna tell you why that's a draw, not a loss, right? Because I know our audience, right? And if the young lady is beautiful, some of y'all savages still gonna go through with it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway. Right.
Yeah,
or
so you still gonna get
maybe she roped you off the best you've ever had, so it got you excited, and then the turtle tank.
Exactly.
That's
I know our audience, and some of y'all gonna go through with it anyway, because y'all savages. But my point is, like, you talking about the experience afterwards. It won't be the same because it's a draw. You got it. You bust some draws, but it's a draw though.
Hashtag savage audience. He said a turtle tank though. Come on, man.
Yo. Everybody know what a turtle tank smell like, B. It's true horror.
All right, so look, keeping it with the boxing theme, pound for pound king, Andre Ward, he basically said his desire is gone. He's hanging up his gloves. Let me quote the statement that he left on his website saying that he was leaving boxing. He said, "I want to be clear. I'm leaving because my body can no longer put up with the rigors of the sport, and therefore my desire to fight is no longer there. If I cannot give my family, my team, and the fans everything that I have, then I should no longer be fighting. People see what I do fight night. They see under the lights. They don't see the toil. They don't see the grind. They don't see the pain, the physical pain that you go through, not just the fights, but to prepare and get ready for those battles." So he basically said, at this point, I know it's time. It's funny, though, that he said that stuff in his statement because, people don't really see the grind that these guys go to besides, a couple of episodes of 24/7 or something like that. But Andre Ward was never that big ticket, big pay-per-view where, you're going to be paying so much attention to his training. He was never really that dude, even though he was one of the best in the sport for a long time. But people don't see that side, and they just take for granted that this is what you do. You make a lot of money, you come out in the ring, and you fight. The funny part about it is after he said this today, like if you read some of the message boards or if you read just anything, reaction on social media, people are like, "Oh, man, well, at least he should have fought this guy and this guy before he left." Like, he just told you that I'm tired. You don't see the grind. And they like, "Man, just grind it out a couple more times." Like, people just don't respect, what cats go through to be great at what they do, man. Shout out to Andre Ward, man.
Yo, and it's crazy, right? Because salute to our brother Hank. We had a conversation today. Again, and this is another shot to the homie Rummy, because we were talking about Rummy's video about the great heavyweights of the '90s. And the conversation went to where he was talking about how ever since when cats used to win the chip, they would get the championship belt, and then they would get lazy and just come back like Larry Holmes, fabulous pick.
Too much.
And we were basically saying winning the title is one thing, but holding on to it is different. And when you get to be an elite athlete, that's kind of like you're pretty much 24/7 training, whether you want to or not, whether it's in season or off season. Everything you put in your body, everything you do is all part of being an athlete at this point. It's a 24/7 job, so we don't see it. And to compete at that, and to compete at that high level, it's like man, who knows what kind of stuff he puts his body through. And sometimes it's better to walk away, even if you come back.
And I think
the fact of the matter
is way deeper. It's way bigger when you're trying to get to that point. Because actually, Andre Ward has been for a long time considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He didn't actually get that title until Floyd left the game. He finally got that title, and he's like, look, no mas. A lot of people are like, hey, you worked a long time to get that title. You finally got the title, and you call me quit. Live your life. Not brain damage.
To keep the analogies in the same ballpark, man. It's like chasing a woman that you really want, and you finally get her, and then you realize, man, she's trash anyway. I really don't want to be. Or another analogy, man. I remember one time B. Austin told me that the chase to have $1 million net worth was real exciting, but once he got it, he was bored with it. So B. Austin told me that one time.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Try and get you robbed down there in Gomorrah.
Get one of these fancy boys knocked into next year.
All right, man. But shout out to
meanwhile,
he's
a casino owner.
Yeah, we got somebody want a screen team. A lot going on.
Okay.
But let's talk about this NBA story that came out this week, where they were basically telling us this confidential report shows that nearly half of the NBA lost money now last season. The whole talk around the NBA over the past season or so is, the new television money and, all of the money that that did for what it did for contracts and yada, yada, yada. But 14 of the NBA's 30 teams lost money last season before collecting their revenue sharing payouts from the teams who basically didn't lose money. 9 finished in the red even after accounting for those payments. How big of a problem is that, B, with all the money that's going around in this sport?
It's a problem. It's a problem. I wouldn't say that they're in dire straits by any means, because most NBA team owners make the lion's share of their revenue and profit and wealth in other industries. Now, where this becomes a challenge,
I mean, they're fine, but you don't run a business to lose.
Well, I was gonna get to that. Where it becomes a challenge is if this is a continuing trend and it perpetuates and it's sustained, and you're looking at 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of losses on multiple teams. There's always been that 2 or 3 or 4 teams in any league that just can't win, that just stays with financial losses. But for them to have 14 teams, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's something to pay attention to. But I believe in the long run it will work itself out, and some of those teams will get back to profitability. Or
not with
Jimmy has been calling for. Well, as you and Jimmy have been calling for contraction, man. Get rid of 7 of them Jones.
Well, you know,
Absolutely.
like a lot of the teams that are struggling are smaller market teams, so I'm sure Jimmy can appreciate that.
Listen, man, they call me Big Market Jim, man. I'm all about the big market, man. I'm all about the big market, man. Listen, man, put our best and brightest in the big cities, man. That's what the NBA is about, man. You know what I mean? We've definitely got some calls on the line. No, I'm just saying, just move them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Combine San Antonio and Houston and leave it one team in Houston. San Antonio. Why we got a team in San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas, man? Come on, man. We need all three of them, man. Let Dallas and Houston.
Oklahoma City.
Let Dallas and Houston cherry pick who they want. We definitely know a team in Oklahoma City.
Before we go to the phone lines, Jim, remember, out of the 14 teams that lost money, 9 of them lost money even after revenue sharing. Those teams were the Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets, Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, Memphis Grizzlies, Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando Magic, San Antonio Spurs, and the Washington Wizards. Funny that you see teams like Cleveland and San Antonio up there, because what a lot of fans don't understand is that success doesn't really equate to, success as far as revenue goes, especially when the salary caps. Yeah, but especially when the salary caps are what they are. Like, that's why I think we came to this point in Cleveland where they had all of that turmoil over the offseason, because I don't think the owner is no longer willing to just bend everything at the will and the whim of LeBron James, because he's losing money. And then LeBron James, you never know if he's going to leave, stay. So you might go all out just to give him another year of luxury tax, just playing way over the luxury tax just to try to get the king another ring. And then when you're in a bad financial state, then he just rolls out. So
I know a lot of our listeners hate LeBron, and the other ones are like the other way. They slob LeBron. But the thing about it is, the one thing I'll say about LeBron is this: he actually recognizes his power. Like, coming up, when you look at guys like Magic, Dr. J, Michael, I don't think they fully recognized their power while they were playing.
Not until it was too late. Yeah.
Yeah, not until it was too late. Like LeBron, LeBron really is the king of the. He really the king. He's legit the king of the NBA though. Like, he's legit the king of the whole league.
But that's the thing. LeBron can go here. He can do that. Go wreck a franchise. I mean, he'll bring them success. So, like, another thing, a fan will say, "Well, he bought them championships," but the owner, if we're being real here, the owner, in my opinion, the owner can care less. the owner can care less.
Spend them chips.
Right. So he'll go there, win some championships, but he will wreck a franchise financially and then move on, stepping over the wreckage to the next thing.
The Brooklyn, I don't count the Brooklyn Nets. I don't count them because the Russian dude that owns them gave Deron Williams like $200 million. He gave my man Isolation Joseph like $200 million.
Well, hold up. That was your man Billy King, though.
I hate Billy King.
He was just letting them rock.
He gave Billy King a blank check.
But
he gave him a blank check. But
this whole situation.
But if you remember
that the big markets rule, because Jimmy's squad, the Lakers, who didn't even have a star player on the team, they they had a great season financially. They had a $115 million profit with no superstar on the team. And then they wrote, and listen, this $115 million profit was even after they wrote a revenue sharing check for $49 million. So they had the highest net come in the league. The next team was like $25 million under them. So, but they took in $149 million from their local TV rights and media deals from Time Warner. So it doesn't matter.
Last thing I want to say about this. Last thing I want to say about this. I know Lou from Jersey wants to talk about the fight, but listen. Last thing I want to say about this is, if you guys remember, Billy King was running the Nets and got like full autonomy to write any check he wanted to. He's the same dude that paid all them Sixers a bunch of. But I think Matt Geiger probably still getting paid from Billy King.
He leaves a record
too, Jim. One move Thomas $56 million.
He wrecks franchises.
So Billy King,
man.
Billy King gives back to the community, man. He makes sure that our strip clubs, our car lots, and everything stay paid up. So salute to him for trying to help the economy.
Keeping Cadillac afloat. All right, let's go to the phone lines, man. We got Lou from Jersey on the line. Want to talk about the fight? What's going on, Lou?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
How are you, Lou?
How'd you like that display of the sweet science this past Saturday night?
Yeah. Although I didn't get a chance to see the fight as much as I wanted to. Now, I know it ended in a draw. How can you say you got your money's worth when the end result was a draw? I mean, doesn't that feel like kind of like a letdown that nobody won?
Well, I mean, I guess if you put it that way, at the end of the night, it's kind of like, But I guess speaking for myself, I was so excited of what just happened in those 12 rounds. It's like, okay, at least they fought. At least I didn't pay this $80, and they sat around and posed, and so they
Lou, you know what, though, Lou?
We are so tired of seeing the biggest superstar in boxing running around the ring away from people like he's playing tag, that it was finally nice to see two gentlemen stand out in front of each other and try and solve a problem with their fists. So I'm thankful that I got to see some entertainment.
I'm going to have to go Floyd protectionist here. Isn't the point of boxing not to get hit, B. Austin?
But you know what? Hold on, though, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, Lou, to your point, though, because I
beat the other man and win.
Well, hold on. But to your point, though, Lou, I kind of felt like disappointed at the very end because of the judging. But at the same time, I understand where they're coming from in terms of watching those guys actually give a great performance. And I think I'm also like clouded by boxing and even MMA because over the years I've watched so many matches where you wonder what the hell the judges were watching. So it's like it's weird. It's kind of like you separate the scoring from what you're watching in the ring. And although I don't know what the answer is in terms of a governing body or some set of rules, I don't know what the answer is. But over the years, I've seen so many matches in both sports where you're like, huh? How'd that happen? But to see guys actually, go at it, that was refreshing.
All right, I'll give you that. But, okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you think there was a better fight than Mayweather-McGregor?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Fight-wise, yeah.
That was a spectacle.
Now, like Mayweather,
it was a better fight.
Surprised me. It was better than I expected it to be, but no, it wasn't this. I mean, because still at the end of the day, McGregor, even though he competed more than we thought he probably would, he was awkward. You can tell he wasn't really, versed in the sweet science. So I mean, this was two of the best, pound for pound professionals going at it. So I just didn't feel cheated in the least. And then, with the Mayweather-McGregor situation, there's so many rumors swirling around the fight saying that, what we saw was Floyd carrying him, just so we could feel a little more entertained. So you don't know what to believe. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad at all, but this one was much better in my opinion.
No, Floyd and Conor wasn't bad entertainment-wise because here's the thing. I didn't think that it would be as competitive as it was, but even with that being said, right, so Conor shocked me the way he was able to, win rounds and actually compete, but at no time did I think he was going to win the fight. Like, at no point in that fight did I ever think that he was going to win the fight. So that was kind of the difference for me. Watching this fight, in the beginning of the fight, I thought that Canelo was definitely going to take the fight. And then as it, got to the middle rounds and the later rounds, I thought Canelo started to get dominated. So it was kind of going back and forth, but both guys, gave it their all. So for me, I get your point because no one likes a draw. I brought that up earlier. I don't like a draw in any sport. I don't even think a draw should be an option. That's kind of like a cop-out to me, especially with sports that have judges. That's like a cop-out.
Overtime fights.
I, at this point with combat sports, I separate the judging from the actual display.
Yeah, especially since we're used to it, the judging being terrible.
I mean, how does one score a fight 118-110 and then 114, 114. I mean, the scoring system, I think, is all screwed up.
It is. It definitely is. And the answer to that, I have no idea what the answer is. I mean, a lot of people talk about there needs to be some sort of governing body and they need to have rule changes. Because I don't even understand how anyone on any planet would have scored that fight 118-110. That makes no sense whatsoever.
No. I know how, Jim. Because cocaine is a hell of a drug. But that's my only answer.
Oh, you mean they were stoned?
She was either on something or she was paid off. But even being paid off, why would the score why would the score have to be that dramatic? So that's why I don't even when people start to talk about, she may have gotten paid off so they can have another one, maybe get a trilogy out of this. Okay, I understand that. But 115, 113. Do something that just doesn't sound crazy. We're making controversy. Even if we want to cheat the system, we don't have to cheat the system by making controversy. Like Jimmy said, there's no way that anybody in that fight won 10 out of 12 rounds. It was utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. I mean, something just doesn't make sense, and that was one of them.
All right. Well, Lou, man, we appreciate it when you call in. Thanks for your call, man. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week. All right.
Thanks, Lou.
All right, Lou from Jersey. Let's see now. The Kevin Durant, man, we've been talking about him lately. His sensitivity. I think last week we were talking about his shoes and all the slights and the names that he was called. He put it on the insoles of his shoes. Now he was caught tweeting this week. And basically throwing his old coach and his old team under the bus. But apparently the tweets were kind of in third person because word is Kevin Durant uses dummy accounts to basically go on Twitter and defend Kevin Durant. And people are saying that he didn't know that he was using his regular account in this instance when he was telling somebody that Kevin left because he didn't like playing for Billy Donovan and his teammates were basically trash and all he had was Russell Westbrook and this and that. So he actually goes on. He's doing an interview for someone. I forgot what it was all about. But he apologizes for those tweets. He apologizes for some of the stuff that he's been saying lately. He said that doesn't mean that I'm, not going to clap back or talk to my fans and do all of that. But I think those tweets were kind of childish. Guys, and there's word that some of his Golden State teammates and some of the staff in that organization are kind of tiring of his weirdo act this summer. What's going on with KD? You did what you did. Live with it. Have thick skin. Ignore all of that stuff. You have a championship. You have a lot of money. You have a team that can win a whole lot more. If that's what you wanted, he should be happy. What's with the weirdo act? Can anybody explain that to me?
I can't really explain it, but I will say that having been around Kevin Durant when he was a youngster coming up in District Heights, Maryland, and watching him and even having some interaction with him and his brother, this now explains some of his personality that I saw back then. Kevin has always kind of kept himself under wraps, but he's always had a bit of arrogance and a bit of an attitude with him. He's very sarcastic, very sardonic and cynical, but I feel like now these are some of the things he's always felt, and winning that chip has validated himself or validated some of his feelings for himself, and now he's coming out and just shooting at people. But
did it validate it? Because it seems like the talk, but it seems like the talk of him taking the easy way out really gets to him. So did it really validate him, or did it make him a more miserable person?
No, it does really get to him because he did take a cop out, and in 2010 he called LeBron on the carpet for doing it. and then turned around and did something worse. So it does bother. His conscience is bothered by the fact that he took the easy road because he called LeBron on it. So, but yeah, I think that this dude has always had a bit of an attitude, but he's been politically correct and kept it under wraps. And the fact that he won this chip, it's all just bubbling to the surface. And now, being that he's a new agent and in this new generation, he's actually looking to the fans and having conversations with them via social media, which is corny in and of itself. So at the end of the day, you soft, dude. You soft.
Here's my thing. Communicating with fans to me isn't a problem. Like, they're essentially the ones that put you in the place you are. And I understand about his attitude, but I think, man, the ball is just real Trez Vanny, man, because you just won a chip. Like, everything that you dealt with in terms of the fans criticizing you, you won a chip. Like, that should be enough. That should speak for itself. Like, even the team is confused. When you read the articles, they say that the team is perplexed, and a lot of the team is turning their back on him at this point. They have some, like, work to do in terms of their team unity, because a lot of them don't understand why he's out there acting this way. He's out there, like, giving speeches at the TechCrunch conference, talking on podcasts, being on Twitter. Like, he's out of pocket this entire offseason. The dummy account whole thing and then playing himself and forgetting.
Yeah,
Come on, B. Come on, B. Don't need a man that'll give you money. Listen, man.
And if y'all listen to Jalen and Jacoby, just know that we did that first.
Oh, he cut us a check, man. Listen, man. I got
talking about stories like this for the past 7 years. So don't get it twisted. If you heard them yesterday, you heard us do that.
Here's the crazy part. I got a gang of text messages and I got tweets like, they played Ralph Tresvant when talking about KD. Like, people telling me because they know they listen to the show. He was doing that for damn near a decade. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Sports the Book's a couple years old now at this point. It's actually in Sports the Book in our glossary, so FOH. But salute to them anyway.
So
it's
documented. Documented.
Yeah, so salute to them, though, because, what I mean?
People been biting. People been biting from
Jalen is my dude. Jalen is my dude.
7
and it
years.
might not be him. I just want him to know where his producers and researchers get their material. That's all.
It's all good, though. It's all good. It's flattery. It's flattery. I mean, I heard my bar. I heard my bars on First Take before, but I ain't gonna put that out there. But anyway.
All right. So KD, man, they're basically saying, now this is stuff like you hear these type of reports and then nothing ever becomes of them. So this could just be somebody talking, but they're saying he's kind of wearing out his welcome in Golden State. All right, so before we move on and take this next call we got on the line, our stat of the week is about sneakers for all you sneakerheads out there. Adidas. This might be surprising to a lot of people out there. Wait, before I do that, shout out to Steven Jackson because he said I have no respect for Kevin Durant after his deeply lame Twitter behavior. But Adidas has surpassed Jordan Brand as the second most popular sneaker in the United States. The market tracking company NPD Group announced this back on Monday. Now, since this has been announced, there's been all kinds of debates and arguments on social media about, who's responsible or what is responsible for this uptick in market share from Adidas. Either of you fellas want to throw your hat in the ring and give Yeezus his props or what? Because I know he's taking them, whether he had anything to do with it or not. Bo at home popping a bottle and writing his next song about how he made Adidas number 2 in the world, in the country.
Salute to Yeezus. Salute to my man Yeezus. He got to get some credit for this. But everything I've read is kind of like destroying the Jordan Brand, saying that they don't know what's going on with that. That it's not pretty much doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
they didn't decline or anything. Jordan Brand, Jordan Brand stayed steady. they went from 9.4% of the market share this time last year to 9.5% of the market, right now. The crazy thing was just how Adidas has shot up. Like, they have 11.3% of the market share right now, and they only had 6.6% of the market share this time last year. Now, that's crazy. Like, what the hell did Adidas do over the last year for their market share to jump like that? Jordan.
Well, real quick, before B. Austin jumps in with the Puma, I just want to say that, like, in business, a lot of times if you're not moving forward, you're losing. Like, it's kind of crazy to me, but that's the way our culture works. Like, you can't stay steady. Like, staying steady is like damn near a draw.
Turtle time.
It is a draw, but there's a couple of things going on in the sports apparel / lifestyle apparel / shoe wear world, and it's kind of like a confluence of occurrences that lead.
There's more than confluence.
First and foremost, the Jordan brand is killing itself by continually re-releasing those older Jordan shoes, like
people
the one
keep buying that ish though.
The one from the 1 to the 20, they got to cut that out. They got to stop dropping different colorways every two or 3 weeks, and that's hurting them.
Keep fooling people.
That's hurting them. And I actually think for Adidas, they've come out with like 3 or 4 different hot ideas in the lifestyle space that have just rocketed them to where they are. Yeezus, honestly, as much as I can't stand dude, I think he definitely is a part of it. Yeah, his shoe coupled with the NMD shoe, coupled with the Ultra Boost line, coupled with the fact that all of these new Agans like wearing very, very, very tight sweat clothes, all of that mixed is helping Adidas to grow that sort of combination lifestyle / sports brand in the U.S. I mean, it
but
really has.
They're so limited, though. Like they probably could do a lot better if they weren't making like limited, big baller brand amounts of these Jones.
The other shoes borrow from that Yeezy look, so everyone knows.
So you can get like cheap Yeezys that ain't Yeezys, but
if I can't afford $1,000 pair of Yeezys, I'll pay $250 and get, or I'll pay $180 and NMD.
One thing I disagree with that you said, B, about the Jordan brand, and this is all Puma because I haven't researched this and I really don't know, but I would disagree that the throwback shoes are what's killing them. I think that the throwback shoes might be the only reason that Jordan brand is viable right now. How many people, like, first of all, every new Jordan brand shoe that comes out is fairly ugly.
It's trash.
How many people do you see that actually buy the new stuff versus the old stuff? Like, the only people you see with them are people that's endorsed by Jordan brand because they have to wear that stuff. But I think the old stuff is the only thing keeping them afloat. Jordan might be running the court.
Yeah, that could be.
You got to come out every year with the same sneakers.
All this talk is for nothing because, man, once my man LeVar Ball get in the game, he take Triple B public, then they all in trouble, man. Triple B was a leverage buyout of the Jordan brand.
Triple B, they're gonna be number.
But
they're gonna be number half in like 10 years.
Yeah, but I don't think it's funny though, cause I'm not into this, right? Like, I wear slides everywhere because that's just what I do. Like, I wear a suit and throw on some slides because that's just what I do. But because
you got Adidas slides or you got Jordan brand slides?
Honestly, I got New Balance slides and Adidas slides, and I only got them because I'm saving up money to buy some Triple B slides. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta save my allowance to get some Triple B slides, and once I get my money for my Triple B slides, that's what I'm rocking with. My point is this though. So this is really not my lane. I'm not in the sneaker culture. You dig? That's not my thing. But, you know, what I do know is this. I try to watch the young Agans around me. And a lot of them, they don't even care about Jordan the way that the previous generation do. A lot of them, here's the first thing. First thing is this, though.
At this point, they don't know who Jordan
is.
Well,
first thing is this, though. The one thing that I recognize about a generation that, you know, the new Agans is they have no brand loyalty whatsoever to anything. So it's like, they'll move to, if Adidas is a new wave, that's what they're going to. Like, they don't care about brand loyalty to anything.
Adidas is definitely the new wave.
They don't even have to have name brand. Well, you know, they'll rock Vans. You know, they throw some Bobos on it.
But they don't care. That's their move. Like, there's dudes in our generation that have extreme brand loyalty. Whether they should or not is a whole different debate. Like, I really believe that Phil might cut his legs off as opposed to wearing Adidas,
Nah, Phil. Yeah, told you, market share of Phil's closet gonna be triple B. Majority triple B.
My point is though, he's not the only cat I know like that. Like, I know cats that take Nike serious where it's actually more than a sneaker to them. Like, it is in fact a lifestyle. And these young cats, man, it's like, first of all, they all on Perk 30, so they high most of the time anyway, so they don't even know what they got on, so they don't care. But you know what I mean? So it's a whole different climate. How do you compete in this climate? I don't have the answer. But the thing is, Nike is so dominant that they're never going anywhere. But the whole thing with the Jordan brand is interesting to me to see that they're too big to fail, essentially. Like, plus, what's Nike's equity in the Jordan brand? I don't know the number. I'm not going to pull that out. So, I mean, that's dominance, though. When you've already been
above 50%,
they own about 50% of the company. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? So it's above 50. Mike owned less than 50 of the company?
That's Puma.
I didn't know that. It's probably Puma too. I don't know what the ratio is, but my point is that's kind of dominant in itself anyway. Like, when Nike's so far ahead of everybody else is number one, and then number two is like, Diet Coke. It's like Coke and Diet Coke. Like, that's kind of how the beverage market is. Coke's the number one soda in the world, and Diet Coke is number two. That's kind of like what Nike had the shoe game on on Smash like that. So, see new faces, that's kind of cool too. But when I think about it, you look at all the new basketball players that have Adidas, they sneaks be ugly as hell though. Like, James Harden Jones is trash.
But you're going in the wrong direction. The Adidas doesn't make theirs off of ball sneakers. In fact, if you look at their NBA endorsers, they got their number one endorser is a guy that has no knees and just signed with Cleveland. So you can't count them in the basketball arena. Their lifestyle brands and like getting.
Well, I mean, they got James Harden though. They got James Harden, don't they?
Yeah, well, and he's a new dude, but the way he markets isn't even as a basketball shoe. He markets their lifestyle.
Yeah, he markets
lifestyle. Well, let me ask you.
Perk 30. The Perk 30 dudes, they gotta wear the tight Adidas soccer pants and sweatpants, and they wear it with Nike. They wear it with anything. They gotta have the tight three-stripe.
Be awesome. You just gave me some new slang, man. We're gonna call them PTDs from now on, Perk 30 dudes. But listen though, the PTDs is one thing. PTDs is one thing, but my next question is something maybe you guys can answer for me. I'd be interested to see globally how everything stacks up, because this is a global game, and I would like to see who dominates soccer, because I don't know. Does Nike dominate soccer worldwide the way they dominate like the NBA?
Adidas dominates worldwide.
And then
Adidas will be number one worldwide, right, B?
Yeah, because of soccer. They're a soccer apparel brand.
Hold on. Is that a Puma, man? Is that a Puma or a fact? We gotta let the people know. Is that a Puma or a fact?
I think I knew that before, that Adidas dominated.
Worldwide, you're saying Adidas already dominates worldwide through because of soccer, essentially.
Because of soccer, but Nike's on their heels. Nike is a big soccer brand, believe it or not, but they're not messing with Adidas.
Okay, see, that's what I was interested to see, like who dominates the soccer game. And how much, because I say this all the time on the show, soccer's been taking over like my entire life. It's the next big thing. But just to see like how much that,
like in 2015, that's the last one I can find. He's right. Nike is still right on their heels. Adidas owns like 11.6% of the worldwide market. And Nike owns like 10 0.8%. This is, and I didn't, not just. I looked up athletic.
After Nike.
This is athletic apparel, not just shoes. VF Corp is that.
Yo, I'm looking at the same stats. I'm like, I'm looking at it too. So let me make sure we ain't giving out fake information.
Who VF Corp? I don't know, but Under Armour is
they sell shoes in China?
Yo, it's VF Corp, then Under Armour, then Gildan, then Columbia, then Hanes Brands, then Puma, Quicksilver, Billabong, and then others. Hell is Billabong.
Yo, Billabong is for people that snort ice and get down with the meth.
Hanes Brands, is that like the draws?
Yeah, that's the underwear.
Because it's like Michael Jordan getting a check from two of these companies.
Yo, that's crazy.
All right, let's go to the before we move.
Yo,
on.
Mike got rich by mistake.
I know.
Mike got rich because he got a mean turnaround. He got rich because his turnaround jump shot so mean.
He didn't mean to become a billionaire.
Michael Bish. All right, let's go to the phone line.
Yo!
We got Rob from Cali. Rob, what's going on, man?
What's good, man? Your boy. Okay.
What you got on your feet right now?
Huh?
What you got on your feet right now? What kind of
I'm
shoes?
relaxing, man. I got socks, man. Also, I got bad feet, so I rock with ASICs, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say.
I feel you.
Rock the ASICs?
Because when we had the podiatrist on the show, and I was telling her about my feet, she threw me onto some ASICs too. I don't know how, but them Jones like amazing. ASICs, New Balance, they're amazing.
Yo, I bang with New Balance heavy, yo. New Balance only sneaker made in America though, like. But so salute to them. I bang with New Balance heavy.
Fuck 'em, man.
You and the clan.
I thought about that. I thought about that too, B.O. I thought about that too, B.O. So I was like, let me find out like where they stand socially. But once I went down that rabbit hole, I realized every product I use kind of puts me in the same bucket. Unless I move to the jungle and like stop watching TV and just live off the land, I'm kind of ass out in that department.
Yeah. Clan probably own the leaves too in the jungle. All right, Rob, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
I'm good, man. Yo, nothing, man. The last night I was at a panel at this one college. It was one university, and they had like
You was teaching?
No. I was at a panel, and they had a Black Panther. No, I wish they had like a Black Panthers on this panel. And I just got
Black Panther rally in 2017.
They still around. I don't understand people. They still, but they old. And I just want to let y'all know, or let the youth know that if you see a person who was there at that time, let the youth know they see a person who was there at that time. Sit down and gain some wisdom. Just sit down, listen to them, gain some wisdom. Because I talked to them before, and I talked to them after. I remember there was this, and I don't want to talk sports, but I remember a long time ago there was this professor named was Dr. Juanita Brown, God bless her soul, and I took a class, but I always sit down and talk to her. She was actually in jail with Dr. Martin Luther King when he wrote the letter from Birmingham, and she was confined in a wheelchair because of the movement. So yeah. Oh, she was, man. She had to be in her, when she passed away, she had to be like in her late 70s, early 80s, probably. I think so. But yeah, but yeah, it was inspirational. But anyways, what's up, y'all? Quick hits. Okay, the fight. All I gotta say is, man, it was hey, man, it was a good. Hey, to me, it was a good fight. Did I agree with the score, the cards of that one lady? No. Did I understand why they wanted to be a draw? I understand why. But at least I got to saw a good fight. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can ask for. Whatever. Either you get that fight or you get like Pacquiao versus Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Either way, Pacquiao got all of his fights is fixed anyway. But anyways, let's go. And by the way, Kevin Durant, I think I think Beyonce said the whole nine. My man, I don't know why Kevin Durant's so disturbed. It's like, and I know I throw shade half of LeBron, half not, but when you see LeBron win a championship, you see he was chilling. He didn't care that, you know, or even before he won a championship the first time, he didn't care what anybody said. But with Kevin Durant, he gets all up in his feelings, and I'm like, yo, man, your man got man up. So yeah.
No.
Hello? Yeah, but anyway, yo, this is New York Giants hate week. You know what I'm saying? That piece of crap city over there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know. You know. By the way, I used to live in Brooklyn, East New York. You know what I'm saying? Rock Cost and Linden houses, Meadow Springs. You know what I'm saying? No, yeah. So get at me. I used to live in Jamaica, Queens too, Rochdale Village. So yeah. But anyways, man, that piece of crap city. I wanna. Hey. Every time my dad got a better job, we moved. So hey, don't get mad. You know? Shout out to Pops. Yeah, but I want to ask Beyonce something. Do you think because we barely have coming to this game probably 3 healthy safeties. How do you feel about, because people were praising Rasul Douglas did good in the last game. Do you think they'll be able to do the same or have the same like turnout this game in like let's say the next 2 or 3 games until everybody gets healthy again?
B?
Hello? I say I need my bad. I need Ronald Darby to have some stem cell treatment and whatever that stuff is that Kobe used to have done in Germany, because he got to get back fast. Now, fortunately for us, the Giants' offensive line are sadomasochists, and they want to see Eli punished. And so they're probably not going to be able to block the Eagles' defensive line, which is going to take a lot of pressure off of our corners, because our corners ain't ish. But I think that this isn't a week where they will get exposed unless the Giants somehow have a resurgence on the offensive line and protect Eli. If you protect Eli, he's a Manning. He's got that Manning DNA. But if you don't protect Eli, he's a Manning. He's got that Manning DNA. He ain't getting away from anybody. So it all comes down to the Giant offensive line and also the fact that they really can't run the ball that effectively. So I think we can stop them with 4 down linemen handling the pass rush duties and our linebackers playing the run, and we can get there. So I'm not as afraid for the Eagles this week as I would be with someone who had a great offensive line. Then we would get exposed.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. Remember I told you before the season I said our defensive line was going to be nasty. I just had that feel. I just had that feel.
But we only 2 games in though.
Yeah, but it's just like when I saw my man Cox coming along and
pause
and or pause Chris Long or
Cox and Long. Come on, man, stop where you're at.
We immature shit.
Hey, Rob, we got to roll, though, man, because we got a guest coming on to do some picks against the spread. So listen up. Some good investments this week, all right?
Cox is long.
Okay.
We're going to let you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so real quick before we do that, of course, you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, click on the website, click on all the tabs, and browse, and don't be lazy, and do what you got to do. Follow the brothers on social media, support, get some merchandise, just do what you got to do. Spend some time on the site. But if you want to enter the chat room right now, that's blogtalkradio.com/thewar room. To get in there, all you got to do is sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you can sign in through your Facebook and Twitter accounts. But if you do that, make sure you click follow. That'll get your updates and reminders about the show. As usual, we'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, and the chat room during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline will be reopened in about 15 minutes. That number is 323-410-0012. Just press 1 when prompted. But if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. Jimmy, what happened this week while these good folks were out on that grind?
Yo, my fault, cuz I didn't meet myself because I've been laughing for 10 minutes at this point, y'all. Boy said, yo, I ain't repeating it, never mind. Anyway. I'm trying to behave, man. Anyway. Listen, for those who don't know,
man, damn.
Yo, for those who don't know, Why You Are on the Grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, which includes some of the most expensive sports packages. Yo, what are y'all doing over there, man?
That's your man.
Listen. Yo, mute yourself, man. Yo. Which includes some of the most expensive sports packages offered by any service. Go to DirecTV.com and order a better TV experience. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to have DirecTV. Oh, man. So, rest in power to Bobby the Brain Heenan, who died at the age of 73. He was a staple on wrestling in our childhood, as a manager. You dig? So we definitely got to send our condolences to the Heenan family.
Was he the greatest heel manager in the history of boxing?
Boxing. No.
A lot of people say he's the greatest manager in the history of boxing. I don't even know what managers did in boxing.
No, first off, you keep saying boxing though.
Boxing.
Yeah, why you saying boxing?
Not even wrestling. Wrestling.
Yeah.
I do know what boxing managers do, but what the hell do wrestling managers actually
my man
do?
Paul Bearer.
Yeah, Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer is a legend. Everybody knows about my man. What he was going by that time? Jimmy. What's his face? Well, first off, we got to start with Elizabeth, right? Because Elizabeth was at work. Queen Elizabeth.
Y'all not going to say Virgil?
Yo, Virgil was a man. Virgil was a manservant, but we got also like Classy Freddie Blassie, Jimmy Hart, who I previously mentioned, got to be up there. He was up there too.
That he managed, that were a part of the Heenan family. He had Big John Studd, King Kong Bundy, Ravishing Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, the Brain Busters, Arn and Tully Blanchard, and Harley Race. And he used to also manage, a lot of the enemies of Hulk Hogan. And,
Yeah, he might be the GOAT.
Yo, without Bobby the Brain, there would be no Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, because he managed King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 2 and Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. But still, I'm like, how does one become somebody's manager, and what do they actually do? Because, it was all a show.
They had personality.
Talk trash. When dudes did.
They add personality to someone who's a wrestler who may be physically imposing and being able to pause, move in the ring, but really doesn't have that personality on the mic pause. So
that's funny though, because that's a great point. Because if you go by that list that I just gave you, that's a lot of quiet dudes right there. You know what I'm saying? They weren't
so they get him.
guys that could sell themselves. So I guess the manager was the promotions guy, the guy who sold the stuff by talking trash. Because Jimmy Hart was great at that with his little.
And salute to J.J. Dillon because he had the 4 Horsemen too, so we gotta say him. But but he's definitely a legend in the sport. Like I vividly remember him in my childhood just because of the time that I came up in. He was like the top manager. Like you know what I mean. You had the females out there too, like I said, Elizabeth and Sensational Scary and all them. I'm really dating myself right now, but Jimmy Hart was that guy too. So him and Jimmy Hart was like, the 1 and 2, and then Jim Cornette over in the other
and the Heenan family.
Yeah, that'd have been lit. Like just the Hart Foundation and you know what I mean, Paul Heyman too. But yeah, so he's got to be definitely up there. If he ain't better than Big, he the closest one.
All right, rest in power to Bobby Get Brains Heenan. My man.
Rest in power to that young man. Let's take it to the CTE sport. Chris Long has decided to donate 6 game checks to scholarship in Charlottesville. He was really moved by all the negativity and things that happened in Charlottesville. He's from Charlottesville, so he decided he wanted to do something positive. So he's donating 6 game checks to different scholarships that promote unity and peace. So salute to Chris Long.
Is it Chris Long or Fletcher Cox? It's Chris Long.
Chris Long. Yo, y'all gotta grow up, yo. It's Chris Long, yo.
Salute to Chris Long, man. Giving back to his hometown, the mean streets of Charlottesville, Virginia. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yo. Well, anyway, man. So salute to him, man, for doing something positive, man. He's one of the more vocal and conscious athletes in sports. So that's not really a shock, but salute to him anyway, because we like to see people doing positive things with their power, influence, and capital.
Yeah, he was the first white guy to stand next to a black guy during the anthem.
He legitimized the activism.
He didn't kneel or anything. He just stood next to a black guy. So shout out to him.
Y'all gonna act like Atlanta ain't America, right? Anyway, before I go to our next story, man, I want to hear these bars real quick. Just a couple snippets from this track here.
Yeah.
Candy Shop Producers.
I don't even want to play that, man. I don't even want to play that. For those who don't know what that was.
I was going around the town the other night. I asked my boys to down, they say, people, what do we are the sight? Then we pop right
man.
All right, so those trash bars were brought to you by Robert Griffin. Robert Griffin III.
What did he say that was wrong, man? What did he say that was wrong?
Salute to the Cornball brothers. Because here's my thing, right? RG3, he left us with those classic bars that will never go away. We never really get a chance to play it because he played himself out of sports. But Pop Rocks and Tootsie Pops is the name of his track. But he's back in the news anyway.
He literally played himself out of the NFL. Like, he played himself out of the NFL.
So, RG3, a.k.a. Cornball Brother, he calls former teammate Santana Moss a liar. Santana Moss, was dry fishing about how RG3 didn't really mess with Shanahan.
He didn't dry snitch. He just snitched.
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah, got you. He moisture snitched. But this boy right here called him a liar, basically. Said everything Santana Moss said was a liar. He had his back, so he don't know what it's about. I personally don't care because, they're the Washington professional football team. But what do you guys think about RG3 being in the news for this nonsense?
It's crazy. I mean, Santana was saying that RG3 was gloating when Shanahan got fired, kind of on some like, At that time, I mean, that's probably what the organization was doing. Probably was picking Robert Griffin III over Mike Shanahan, but that didn't work out too well for them in the long run. But what RG3 is trying to say is that he never did that. So he's saying that your man Santana Moss is a liar, but Santana Moss said God don't like ugly. So he's kind of saying that, the fact that you gloated over this man's misery is kind of why you are where you are right now. Trying to hit him with the karma. So, B, I know you got some words for your team you used to cover.
I don't know how I don't know how this even comes out in 2017. I suspect that it's absolutely 100% true, just based on my impressions of Robert Griffin III, aka RG Nee. My impressions of his personality and his character. I absolutely think that this is true. What does Santana Moss get out of bringing this up in 2017 when he's been out of the league for 3 years and RG Nee can't get a job? I mean, I don't know. But, I believe it. I definitely believe it.
Yeah, because he was on the radio show with Chad Dukes on 106.7 The Fan on Monday, and they were just talking about things that happened back in that era that wasn't too long ago, and Santana Moss was basically telling them how once 2013 came, all of a sudden there was a giant dilemma in the locker room because the quarterback and the coach weren't seeing eye to eye, and it kind of affected everybody. So he was talking about that broken relationship between Shanahan and Griffin, and just like I said earlier, how he kind of gloated after being benched and all of that stuff, how he kind of gloated after Shanahan was fired. Robert Griffin basically was saying that was karma for the way that they were treating him, and now Santana Moss is basically saying that his situation now is karma for the way that he was gloating about another man getting fired. So always drama there, even when players are no longer on the team. They keep a healthy helping of drama in the nation's capital. So shout out to that. Because he got something about an ex-Red Washington Post sports player too, don't we?
Yeah. But I want to get Tobias on real quick because he's sneaking around trying to call in. Master's watching him though. So let's get Tobias on real quick. Tobias, you are in the war room. Be careful, man.
Hey, cool. 'Cause I know Dev be out there leaving me out to dry and stuff, man. Getting me tore up and stuff, man. Dev snitched on me like Kobe over here, man. Don't mess with you, man. Hey, man.
I should have paid him off like Shaq did.
I know. Hey, good brother. I'll make this quick. First things first. I know white people are in a pinch now because they, the brothers in the NFL say they want to have a month of social protest, meaning you guys could protest and bring awareness to whatever you want as well, people. It's not just for them. And the thing is that why are you mad when people say stop killing us and getting away with it? But people say they ain't watching.
What about black on black crime?
Hey, you know what I say? You want to talk why people ain't watching NFL? There's a game called the Rams and the 49ers tonight with Brian Hoyer out there. Yes, that just shows you. And the problem is that with Kaepernick, many people say, hey, just bring him to camp, let him compete, see what he could do. When you got Brian Hoyer out here who couldn't even get 100 yards last week in an NFL game where the rules say you pass the ball, and you got other losers out here. That's what makes the problem bigger. But these guys would rather lose and to just prove a point. And I think more, and what the problem is that the people in the locker room are seeing it, black, white, and other, because they know because this loser going to mess up their money too and mess up them probably making more money and get money on the outside with other teams potentially.
True.
And I'll make these two quick things real quick. First, I know Jimmy's boys, Denver, I know he didn't watch them, but, hey, the thing is what we were saying the whole time is like people need to stop. The thing with Dak, it's not saying he's terrible, he's garbage, anything. Even in college, he threw a lot of underneath. He didn't throw deep. That was his game. But the thing is that I'm comparing to Carson Wentz in the same draft. Carson Wentz has all these expectations being number 2 pick. So he could be really scrutinized. Now, I know people scrutinize Dak, but they look at it as being a 4th-round pick instead of being number 2 pick overall. Carson has all these expectations. But if Dak went to bed last year, no one said anything. He'll be, hey, it's a 4th-round pick. But he had a great year. Then it was like, hey, it's the greatest year ever. Why did everybody pass on this guy? Hey, a lot of teams miss on people. But at the same time, it's all about fit. And will that coach fit that offense around your skills as well? That's the thing people are missing.
Right. I mean, yeah, a lot of people's success comes from the system that they play in. Like, if you're just going to try to plug and play guys and their skill set means nothing to you with the offense that you're running, then a lot of times that's not going to be it's not going to be successful. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL now or, you know, in the past 20 years that you could just throw into any system and they would be successful. It's probably a handful of guys that you can just do that with. All right, Tobias.
You guys take it easy. I'll say this real quick. Hey, guys, I'll say this. People, like nowadays, I hear all this talk. Everyone's mad at Kyrie. That interview was garbage, by the way. That interview made like he was so garbage. I thought he was advertising NBA Live instead of 2K. But, but the thing is that here's the thing. No one ever gets mad at LeBron for leaving teams. He's like a locust. When he comes in, he destroys the field. There's nothing left. But everybody said the team got worse. Yeah,
that's exactly what I said earlier. Like, he might bring the franchise some attention and some success, but you best believe when he leaves, he's going to be walking over carcasses and destruction, and he's going to leave a wreckage behind.
And here's the thing:
he's going to leave you way over the salary cap with a bunch of bums.
And my thing is, who did LeBron call when he left those teams? Did he call anybody? No. So Kyrie don't need to call him. The only person Kyrie need to call is the owner that he wants out. That's the only one he need to talk to, because that's the one who signs the checks. And one last thing, guys, the NBA, stop saying y'all losing money. Y'all got the deal you guys wanted. Don't get mad at me that you got too many of these garbage teams out there, that you make it hard to trade players. Now you want to fix the lottery, supposedly, when teams can't even get the Sixers been tanking since Bush was in office, and they don't got number one pick once. It ain't gonna fix it. Stop trying to fix what ain't broken. Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. You guys have a good one, man. And roll time.
Roll damn tide. Hit us with the roll tide. All right, we're going to hey, Gus, if you're on the line, make sure you press 1 so we know that you're waiting. But, we're going to get some picks against the spread in with Gus.
Yeah, real quick, though, we got to bring this story up about the Washington professional football team. One, Bjornsson talked about it earlier, one Albert Hainsworth. He says his former girlfriend abused him physically. Yeah. Salute to Fat Albert. Fat Albert got a bunch of bags. But listen to this story. He's saying his girlfriend abused him physically and racially, calling him the N-word. And he filed a police report saying, "Protect me, police."
This is the white woman that he has a child with?
Oh, yeah. Because he said back in the day that he don't mess with black women. Like, so this is his, that young lady that he has children with. She been beating his ass, and I'm calling him the N-word.
And see that you never want to joke about domestic violence or anything like that, because we know that it can happen to men as well. But this is one of those situations like, come on, man. Like, Albert Hainsworth was one of the biggest, roughest, toughest dudes in the NFL, stomping people's helmets while they were laying on the ground. He's like 6'14", 467,000 pounds. Is this some kind of ploy? Did they break up? So is he just gonna crap on her name and this is all he thought of, or was he really sitting back and being bullied by this 6-foot woman? I mean,
here real quick before Bjornsson gives his opinion, let me read you the quote from 2011 when Albert Hainsworth says, and I quote, "I have a white girlfriend. I couldn't tell you the last time I dated a black girl. I don't even like black girls." End quote. That's Albert Hainsworth.
Well, that was him trying to get out of a sexual assault case when he put the credit card in the black waitress's bra and fondled her, supposedly.
So basically, Albert out here acting a damn fool in general.
In general. All right, B. So we can move on from this dude.
Albert Hainsworth. We don't believe you. You need more people. You can't eat pork every day and complain when you end up with cancer. You can't eat pork.
We don't believe you. You need more people.
he's one of those guys where Sean Corey Carter made a song referencing OJ. I'm not black. I'm OJ. And I feel that song or that overall sentiment fits a lot of athletes in the United States. And they combine that whole self-hatred thing with the whole chasing of other folks. Albert, go that way. I don't want to hear your name anymore. I don't want to talk about you. I'm sorry if you got your tail whooped, but go that way, man. Nobody.
He said,
get out of here.
Not only has she called me unthinkable names, she's been extremely violent. Were more than 10 times in Tennessee and Florida. I called the police to restrain her. Yes, I have witnesses and bruises, but me for some reason still tried to protect her by not sending her to jail because I didn't want to ruin her so-called career and name. So that's coming from big rough and tumble Albert Hainsworth. Kind of crazy. All right, man. Let's talk some football investment with the homie Gus Griffin. Let me get Gus on the line real quick. Gus, what's going on? You there?
How you doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm all right. I expect all those people who called me names last week to apologize.
You rebounded on them?
I rebounded on them. That's right. That's right.
All right.
That's right.
I hear that. All right, so we got a few games for you this week, and we're going to jump right into it. We're going to start with, 1 second, where's my, I think I might have tossed my list by mistake.
I got them on the top of my head, brother.
I'm sure you got them, so go ahead. You can start.
Okay, well, let's start with the...
+3.
Hey, I'm back to 500. I'm going to move up from here. Start with tonight's game, the 49ers and Rams. I'm going to do something that a lot of people don't do. I'm going to take a single team over and under. I'm taking the 49ers under 17.5. Their offense stinks. You were mentioning Brian Hoyer. Rams got a decent defense. I don't know. I get the feeling that the NFL just picks the worst game of the week and throws it on Thursday night just to mess with us or something.
They do.
Yeah.
It's a money grab, and a lot of people complain about it because it's just not enough rest for a sport like football. So I think they do just grab, and everybody has to play on Thursday night. That's the difference. If you notice the schedule, like every team plays on Thursday night throughout the season.
Every team does, and it certainly contradicts their so-called concern for health.
Right. You don't let people fully heal throughout the week, and you're going to throw them right back on the field in a short week.
Yeah, that doesn't work. So, 49ers under 17.5. Okay. And the next three are all the same. I'm taking the Seahawks, Bills, and the Lions, all +3. Lions against the Falcons, Bills against Denver. That's a little in-between game there. Denver coming off a big win against Dallas. They got a division game next week. This is a game where they might be one of those so-called trap games. And the Bills have a very good pass defense, so I expect them to play well. They usually play well up in Buffalo anyway. And then the last one, of course, is Seattle +3. Tennessee had a little trouble with the Raiders' defense, and the Raiders' defense isn't as good as Seattle's. I got those 3 +3 and the 49ers under 17.5 tonight.
Okay, and didn't you do an over-under on the Lions-Falcons?
I was thinking about it. If I took it, I'd take that over 51. It's on the carpet inside. The Lions got a decent defense. Falcons aren't going to stop anybody, so that might be a track meet. So if I play that as a fifth one, it'd be over 51.
All right, you're expecting some fireworks there. All right,
exactly.
So we're going to see how you're going to do. We're going to make sure, we have to see if there's going to be any complaints this week. I haven't heard any complaints. I haven't heard any complaints this week. Nobody's calling in.
Won't be dissing my handicap.
Yeah, nobody's telling us that, they want us to fund their investment for them and give them their money back. So I think all is well.
All right, and stop sending Guido after me.
All right, Gus. We will talk to you next week, man.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, gentlemen.
All right, you too. Gus Griffin, everybody. Did you take notes on that? I hope you did, and I hope you're, making your investments wisely. He had the Bills, Lions, and Seahawks all +3. He's taking the under with the Niners at 17.5 in the game tonight. So get out there, get your investments done. Don't come and complain to us if it don't work out for you. But it should work out for you. He knows what he's talking about. All right, so
real quick before we move forward, let me get some quick birthday shout outs, which are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies, digitalextremetech.com, 267-205-4203. If you have a Wix site, kill yourself, call Digital Extreme Tech. But I have to give these birthday shout outs real quick, gentlemen.
My birthday, yay!
No diggity.
All right, real quick, Jimmy Clausen turns 30. Damn.
He's only 30. At the same time, you're like, he's
Jimmy
only 30, and then you're like, little Jimmy is 30. So it's like two-way thing there.
Yeah. Johnny Kitna's 45. So to John Kitna, the legendary backup. Guess who's the legendary backup? Anyway,
John Kitna wasn't a bum to me. I mean, he wasn't good, but he wasn't a bum to me.
Nah, Kitna wasn't a bum.
Yeah, I think you could put Kitna in the game and expect. You can put Kitna in the game and expect something to happen, but
All right, I'm trolling. Anyway, Cecil Fielder is 54 years young. Salute to Cecil Fielder. You know what I'm saying? The legend. Because he showed us
retire soon. He's 54.
Yeah, he showed you that you ain't got to be in shape to play baseball. He was a legend for that. Also, the OG legend from Hampton University, Rick Mahorn, turns 59.
Shout out to the championship coach, man. Rick Mahorn. I believe Rick Mahorn won a championship in the WNBA, and now he's won. Who's the coach of Trilogy? Is it Mahorn or is it Oakley?
Oh, no, it's Mahorn.
It's Mahorn, yeah.
Mahorn.
So shout out to him because he's a championship coach once again.
He won a championship as a player in the NBA. He won a championship in the WNBA as a coach. He went to the Big Three, won a championship as a coach. Rick Mahorn is a basketball legend.
He's a winner.
Oakley or Mahorn? Oakley or Mahorn?
See, that's difficult, right? Because in his prime, when Rick Mahorn played with Chuck, Chuck elevated his game. Like when what are they, Thump Brothers they were called? Pause.
Yeah. Yeah. The Thump Brothers.
Anyway, so Rick Mahorn turns 59, man. Yo, boy said, what you like better, Poo-Poo or Dookie?
To answer your question, I'd probably say Oakley. And, I don't think too highly of Oakley, but I'll say Oakley.
Yo, my man B. Austin was like, what y'all like better, Poo-Poo or Dookie?
I'd say Poo-Poo.
Yo, salute to the guys, man. Yo, salute to them anyway, man. That's when at least the NBA had tough guys back then, whether they was really tough or not.
They would smack up Tyrone Hill.
Yo, Draymond Green is the toughest dude in the NBA. I'm gonna leave you with that.
All right, everybody. We are gonna talk some NFL stuff. Jimmy might boycott the conversation, so if y'all want to call in, y'all can reach us at 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. And our NFL wrap is brought to you by Audible. Is your schedule too hectic to read as much as you want? Well, try audiobooks, kick back, let someone else do the reading for you. All you got to do is visit Audible. Sign up for your free trial at audibletrial.com, and in no time, you can be listening to the latest bestsellers hands-free, stress-free, while getting other things done at the very same time.
Real quick, before y'all start to get into it, I just want to say free Kaepernick and free Buju Banton. Go ahead, Dev.
All right, well, we got to talk about Cat, so, everybody knows that Jimmy got bars for all of this stuff. First of all, the NFL rating continues over the second week of the season. It's continuing so much that they're getting a little nervous on Wall Street even about the NFL and what might be going on. There's always an argument every week to what's causing the decline in numbers, and a lot of people who aren't watching the NFL, like Jimmy, are attributing that to the boycott about Colin Kaepernick. And then you have some people that come in, well, it's not just that. You have the hurricanes and, there's always something else that people want to throw in there. But what effect do you guys think that boycott is having on the ratings?
The beauty of the dialogue and the conversation is that you can't ignore Kaepernick and you can't ignore the activism. I would love to attribute the drop-off strictly to Kaepernick and the activism, but I think that spearheads the way and combines with some other things to contribute to this. And the 12% decline, I would love to know what that represents in terms of dollars and cents. It's got to be quite a bit of money.
Right. I mean, because last season when they, when the same thing was basically going on, you still had other things that they could point to, and they were pointing to distractions like the election, which I think was legitimate because it was the strangest thing we've seen in American politics in a long time. It was can't miss TV, it was must-watch TV. So that was like a legitimate excuse, but I think this season they don't have the same excuses. So, to not give at least some credit to what's going on with people who promised that they weren't going to watch, I don't know. I think that would be a little disingenuous on their part. I mean, the NFL they haven't spoken about it or anything, but they said, while NFL games still remain some of the most watched content on television, the rating slid 12% last week in the opening weekend. A lot of people blamed Hurricane Irma for that slide, but there wasn't a dramatic weather event, this past weekend, and it was all 15% since from last year. So, and last year there was an 8% rating slump. So this is adding on to the already 8% drop from last year. You're up to a 15% this season. They're starting to get worried. They're saying the NFL, the networks, $5 billion in advertising revenue from the NFL this season, but a 10% shortfall could translate to a $200 million cut in earnings for these networks. So I don't know. People said they were going to stop and they were going to try to hit the NFL where it hurts. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be the NFL hurting that much or the actual networks that they play on, because they're going to be in a little conundrum because they're not going to stop broadcasting the NFL because of a little slide, because just like the statistics said, it's still some of the most watched content on television. So I don't think they're willing to take that gamble. But we'll see, and we'll also see because Kaepernick.
It's interesting, right? It's interesting because I shared an article with y'all earlier. I don't know if either one of y'all got a chance to see it, but SB Nation wrote this article about the NFL. Yeah, that was a pretty good piece right there because it broke down other reasons. And to be honest with you, that's why it was easy for me to say I'm not watching it. It's the Kaepernick thing, but it's more than that. To me, the product is ass. To put it mildly, the product has been asked for a couple of years. When I think about it, outside of all the other social issues that exist, the product is ass. And this season is no different. It continues to be ass. The games aren't close. The overall product is terrible. So, therefore, it's kind of easy to boycott. You know what I mean? But it's interesting. I want to see what they do to kind of combat this long term, because a lot of times people, they get kind of cocky when they get to have that number one spot and dominate the way that the league has dominated for years. Boxing was once the biggest sport in the world. So ask them how it feels to lose that. Man, if you go back and study history, at one point, horse racing was bigger than the NFL, the NBA, all of it. But now it's a fringe sport. football, as cocky as they gotten, as much money and revenue is generated, they better not get too cocky. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, Jimmy, you sent this to me like 20 minutes ago, but the tweet from NBC Nightly News that says Kim Jong-un says President Trump insulted me and my country in front of the eyes of the world, and he will face results beyond his expectation. It's kind of scary, yo. That's like, I'm like laughing in like disbelief that, we're to a point, like he's already gotten us to a point where we're getting those kind of threats. All right. I don't want to play with this dude. I don't want to find out. You know what I mean? All right. So I'm going to have to scour the news tonight and see what that's about. All right. But, Colin Kaepernick says he's been working out and he is ready to play, which is refreshing to me because remember throughout all of these, all the dialogues that we had about the Colin Kaepernick situation, the most pressing thing I think that we kept bringing up was the fact that we hadn't heard anything from Colin Kaepernick. So I'm like, if everybody puts it all on the line for him, and you have people not doing what they love because they're supporting him, like at least whether you want to play or not, I think, he at least owed that to the fans just to tell us where he was and what his mind state was. Like he could say, I'm not really, I'm not trying to play. And, those folks would just have a decision to make. Like, is your boycott strictly about, the fact that you think the NFL doesn't care about what happens to black and brown people, or are you just doing it because Kaepernick doesn't have a job? If you find out that Kaepernick doesn't want a job, does that take you back to the NFL? And for the people, if Kaepernick does end up getting picked up somehow, some way, does that take you back to the NFL? So it's like, I think a lot of people are doing it for kind of the same reason, but kind of tweaked reasons. And I don't know who's going to stick it out even after, Kaepernick may get, back into the league, and some folks might be satisfied with that. They got what they wanted, and they might just go right back. Some people might still say, no, that doesn't, it doesn't take away the underlying problem that we have, and it probably never will. But he did say that he's been working out, and he's ready to go if there's a team that comes calling. So we'll keep an eye on that situation and see how that plays out. Speaking more into, declining numbers for the NFL, the Rams and Chargers, Los Angeles, two new teams, their weekly attendance is kind of abysmal. And this past week, I believe their combined attendance was less than the USC Texas game in college football. Only 56,612 were at the LA Coliseum, which is a huge stadium that seats over 93,000 people. And the StubHub Center where the Chargers play, it only seats 27,000 people because it's a soccer stadium, but they drew a bit over 25,000. And, with them, it's a little bit understandable. They can almost fill that stadium because if people are still fans in San Diego, that's not a bad drive to go up to LA to check out their team. But for the Rams to only draw 56,000 in a 93,000 seat stadium, that's crazy. And their total attendance for both teams was less than 81,000. Well, I'm sorry, less than the 81,000 that showed up for the Texas USC game on Saturday at the very same stadium, the Coliseum, where the Rams play. So the NFL says that they're confident that LA can support two teams, and they don't think that they should be in crisis mode yet. But what do you guys think? Like, just from the jump, like you would think that a city is excited to have teams and people will be flocking to these games, and maybe it would tail off, in the long run. But it's not happening like that. Like, nobody's going to these games now. Is LA in trouble after all of these years of lobbying to get teams back?
Yeah, absolutely. one, the product, as Jimmy said, is inferior. It's dookie. Two, people consume their football content now sitting in their homes. Sure, you make the argument that
definitely a game
going to a game is going to a game is completely different than watching it on a tube. But as you say, watching it on a tube, which is now a flat screen, gives you more view or more a better perspective for actually digesting the game.
Especially with all the tech that they have in the broadcast now.
Right. So you're showing me an inferior product. Your ticket price is probably inflated because it's LA and everything is inflated, and you can't count on the average middle class American to be able to afford good seats and definitely not be a season ticket holder for those two teams when there's really no loyalty built in the fan base. So there's a couple of things going on there. So I think they jumped the gun in moving two teams. Should have been just one.
Yeah, they almost moved three before the Raiders went to Vegas. Like they were really ambitious about this whole thing.
LA wants to be New York so bad.
But then remember, these are supposed to be temporary digs for these teams. So with the attendance that they're getting at, their temporary spots, is it going to be worth building these team stadiums of their own? Like you got to dig into that. Like this is why some of these teams leave where they are because speaking of the Raiders moving to Vegas, Oakland wouldn't build them a new stadium, and God knows they need one. I've been to the Coliseum in Oakland, and they need a new stadium basically. Them and the A's share the same stadium, and it's a dump. But this is it just seems like the NFL. I mean, we've been doing this for about 7 years, and for the last 7 years, we just talked about how the NFL is like this untouchable entity, and everything is, like everything that's going on now is proving that not to be true. I think everybody can be touched. So you have, these teams in a new market, one of the largest markets in the country, struggling to get people to come to the games. You have a drop-off in TV ratings. You have an image problem. There's just a lot going on with the NFL, and we once thought that this was like the Teflon League, and we're slowly finding out that might not be the case. And I didn't even mention, CTE and the effects of that, and the fact that a lot of people don't even want their kids playing football anymore. All right, so with that in mind, is up for a new contract, and his negotiations have been going on, but there are whispers out there that Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he's basically the one impeding the progress of Roger Goodell in his contract negotiations. And Jerry Jones has always been an open and avid supporter of the commissioner. So why all of a sudden would Jerry Jones be impeding the contract negotiations of one Roger Goodell? I know the answer to that, but I'm throwing that out there.
He literally, I think that there's a couple of reasons. Number one being Goodell's stance on Dak Prescott and the punishment that should be meted out, which
Zeke Elliott.
This is, I'm Ezekiel Elliott. This is a funny situation. It's a funny situation because while I definitely think that Zeke needs to temper his behavior, he needs to grow up, he needs to change. He's definitely entitled, privileged, all of that. When I look at the accuser and I look at the case in a vacuum, stand alone, there's so many holes in the testimony of the alleged victim, and I won't even call her a victim, I'll call her the accuser, and she has come out of her own mouth and said, I'm in it for games, I think the NFL just decided to arbitrarily crack down, say, we've had so many of these, we've got to give the people something. Right. Zeke, you're the sacrificial lamb. And Jerry said, hold on. No. First of all, I don't have a problem with their behavior anyway, because you can see I find any and everybody if they have the talent. But
my whole team be under arrest. They're not getting Jordan.
My guy Zeke. No, you're not going to use him as the sacrifice. That's my boy. That's my number one $40 million slave right now. You're not going to do anything to him. And look at all the other guys throughout the league that have issues, and you let them slide. No, so Jerry's taking a stand and saying that essentially you're not going to make an example of one of my star players. I'm the one that pays your salary. I'm the one that defends you. You're not going to do this. So it's a battle of ego, but when I look at it in a vacuum, again, I think that Jerry does have a leg to stand on in the sense that
he does.
The criminal case has fallen apart, and the NFL is just taking it on its own, to punish dude for something that he hasn't been found criminally guilty of.
I mean, well, they found, they do their own investigation now, so you don't have to be found criminally, liable, responsible, guilty. They don't have to have that to punish you these days, and that came into play is because they kept misfiring on these things, like the Ray Rice situation. Like they'll give him a slap on the wrist, 2-game suspension, probably knowing that they're doing the wrong thing, and then this video comes out and totally makes the NFL look silly for just giving him a 2-game suspension when they know exactly what happened in that elevator. Because Ray Rice didn't lie. He told them exactly what happened in that elevator. Then you have, a couple of more cases like that where they just feel, and I agree. It's a situation with the NFL. It's like they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. That's the position they're in. They kind of helped themselves get there, but that's how it is. Like when they gave slaps on the wrist, everybody said, okay, the NFL doesn't care. They're not punishing these guys. They got a league full of criminals. Now they claim to be doing their own investigations and they're trying to roof dudes for half the season damn near. People don't like that either. So, it's a win situation for them, but Crimea River, I'm not defending them.
If they'd have stood on the side of right, in a lot of these cases, and I know
they wouldn't be in this position.
And we shouldn't hold companies to moral standards, I guess. But if they'd have stood on the side of right, they'd have got some pushback at certain points. But as you just said, they wouldn't be in this position because they would have always taken the right course instead of pushing and brushing things under the rug and only reacting to public sentiment rather than what is right and what is wrong. So it's their fault. It's their fault.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely is. So, yeah, Jerry Jones has not even, a leg to stand on because of the fact that Zeke hasn't been found guilty or anything. He has a leg to stand on because he's your highest grossing owner in the NFL. When Jerry Jones speaks, Robert Kraft speaks, those are the guys that you have to listen to. But it seems like with this pressure and trying to make example of superstar players, those are the last two guys that Roger Goodell has actually made angry. Now, I think in the long run, it'll just be, Jerry Jones just proving a point and flexing his muscle. I'm sure just by what Roger Goodell has made the league into for these owners, I'm pretty sure he's not in jeopardy of Jerry Jones actually blocking his extension on his contract. But I think Jerry Jones is just going to scare him a little bit, basically grip him up by the collar just to let him know who's boss.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We make fun of Roger Goodell. We make fun of the owners. We call him Roger Goddell. We don't like a lot of his positions. But again, being completely objective and looking at what his job is and how he does it, Roger Goodell is an amazing commissioner
for the NFL based on what it is that he is charged.
He's supposed to do, right.
Yeah, what he's supposed to do is represent the interests of the owners, protect them from themselves, and make sure that the league is driving revenue and is profitable. And he is amazing at doing it. And
he makes sure that he keeps the Brinks truck parked in the parking garage at NFL headquarters in Manhattan.
Now he makes $44 million a year to do so, but if you look at what the league revenue is and the profitability,
drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the bucket. So I think he's great at what he does.
All right. One thing before we make a couple of picks there. Lenny Thomas was talking on the NFL Network, and he was talking about the Broncos-Cowboys game this past weekend, and he mentioned how Ezekiel Elliott basically quit on his team. I don't know if you saw the Cowboys game or any highlights of it, but do you think he has a point, or is he opening up a dangerous narrative? Because, in my opinion, I think a lot of fans follow those kind of narratives. Jimmy talked about it earlier. He was talking about, body language experts, because that's something that I always throw out there. But, LaDainian Tomlinson, mind you, I'm going to be fair on this one because he's gotten that same moniker a time or two in his career. And in a playoff game, a lot of people think he quit on his team because he was sitting over there on the sideline, while his team was out there battling, and his quarterback was injured just as much as he was, and he was out there battling. You know me, I try not to get into all of that, because I don't know. People have different pain thresholds. People have just different attitudes. A lot of people do things, and they're so smooth about it. They make things look so easy that people think they're not going hard. Like, I don't try to read into all of that. I'm not saying that I never have, because I, once upon a time I did, until I realized, like, I don't really know what somebody's thinking, to be calling them a quitter and stuff like that. But what do you think? You think this is dangerous? Because, a lot of people don't like the Cowboys, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people will jump on that narrative
very
quick.
Very. I'm one of the people that hate the Cowboys. I think this is a very dangerous and slippery slope because you don't know what's in that man's heart or head. Now, the one play, there were two plays in question. The one play, I do still interpret body language, and I still do look at nonverbal communication, Dev. So I do that. The one play in question, which was the interception, that people are expecting him to, after he cut block on the left side. The interception happened on the right side of the offensive formation. People were expecting him to block an oncoming Russian linebacker, chop block him, get him off of him, get up, and chase Aqib Talib down the field 70 yards from the other side of the field. And the case that they're using is Benjamin Watson and Don Beebe, which were two exceptional plays. Dude, he absolutely did not quit on that play. He absolutely didn't quit. The first play in question, maybe I could see. My whole issue with that is most players take plays off. I wouldn't even say he quit. I would say he took a play off. He took a play off. He was frustrated.
Right, we'll get more into the whole quitting narrative and that conversation at a later date. Jimmy, you want to take us out of here, good brother?
Yeah, man, it's time to get out of here, man. I just want to say, it's time for us to quit. I just want to say, in the words of B.D. Siegel, man, 85% communication is nonverbal. Anyway, thank you, brothers. And by the way, for Beans, we know that's a Poma, FOH. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter. Those in the group me at, we appreciate the support, and all the callers who called in to holler at us. We appreciated those we couldn't get to. We apologize. Special thanks to Gus Griffin for joining us to give us his investment picks, as we call them. Tune in next week live right here on demand on the WRS Podcast Network as we recap Week 3 and preview NFL Week 4. And, of course, we'll catch up on everything going on in the world of sports. So until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Catch everything we do at warroomsports.com. That includes social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything that includes anything that we do. warroomsports.com, all of our media content, everything. Pick up my book, Sports to Book, at sportstobook.com or warroomsports.com. We're going to be on the road this week. I know Devin is going down to Gomorrah in Georgia. I'll be in Vegas signing autographs, so holler at me on the West Coast. With that being said, as we always say, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top. Ladies, holler at me in Vegas.
Trying to get you roped off.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Doc Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like Magic and the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop dollars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Doc Beck, B. Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.